You work hard every single day, yet somehow your financial life never really changes. The truth is, your bank account is often a reflection of the people around you. Most people never realize that their social circle silently shapes their beliefs about money, success, risk, and ambition. If everyone around you complains about jobs, fears investing, mocks big dreams, and celebrates staying comfortable, your mind slowly adapts to that environment. You start lowering your standards without even noticing it. The dangerous part is that this process happens quietly. No one tells you to fail directly. Instead, they normalize mediocrity until your biggest goals start feeling unrealistic. The people closest to you can either expand your vision or slowly destroy it, and many successful people discovered this truth too late. Think about how conversations influence your mindset. If your friends spend hours gossiping, wasting money, scrolling social media, or making excuses, your brain begins accepting those habits as normal behavior. Human beings naturally adapt to their environment. That means if you surround yourself with people who avoid growth, you eventually stop growing too. Meanwhile, wealthy and successful individuals usually spend time with people who discuss business ideas, investments, opportunities, discipline, and long-term goals. Their environment constantly pushes them forward. Most poor mindsets are not inherited through genetics. They are inherited through daily conversations, attitudes, and expectations. Every joke about rich people being lucky or dreams never working slowly poisons ambition. Over time, even highly talented people become mentally trapped because of the energy surrounding them. One of the biggest hidden dangers of the wrong social circle is emotional dependency. Many people secretly fear becoming more successful than their friends because success can create distance. Some people stay broke simply to remain accepted. They avoid taking risks, learning skills, or changing lifestyles because they fear judgment. The moment you start improving yourself, insecure people around you may call you arrogant, selfish, unrealistic, or obsessed with money. This is psychological resistance. Weak environments often attack growth because growth exposes their own lack of action. The sad reality is that not everyone claps when you level up. Some people only support you when you remain equal to them. The moment you begin thinking bigger, they become uncomfortable because your progress reminds them of their excuses. Financial growth also depends heavily on information exposure. If nobody around you understands investing, online income, business systems, networking, or wealth creation, you remain disconnected from opportunities that could change your life forever. Opportunities often travel through people. Million-dollar ideas, partnerships, career breakthroughs, and business knowledge usually come through strong networks. Poor environments rarely discuss these things. Instead, they focus on survival, entertainment, and temporary pleasure. This creates a dangerous cycle where entire groups remain financially stuck for decades because nobody introduces new thinking. Sometimes the fastest way to improve your income is not learning a new skill. It is changing who you spend the most time with. Another painful truth is that some friendships are built entirely around distraction. Notice how certain people only contact you when they want entertainment, gossip, or emotional attention, but disappear when you focus on goals. They consume your time without adding value to your future. Time is the most valuable financial asset you have because wasted years can never be recovered. Many successful people became successful partly because they protected their focus aggressively. They reduced meaningless social interactions and invested more time into learning, building, reading, and creating. Every hour spent around negative energy slowly drains motivation. Eventually, you begin losing discipline, consistency, and belief in your own potential. The hardest part about upgrading your social circle is loneliness. Growth often requires separation before connection. For a period of time, you may feel isolated because your old environment no longer fits you, while your new environment has not fully accepted you yet. This stage destroys many people because they return to comfortable relationships instead of continuing forward. But temporary loneliness is far less dangerous than permanent stagnation. Every successful entrepreneur, athlete, investor, or creator eventually learned that protecting their mindset was necessary for survival. They became extremely selective about whose opinions they listened to because they understood that repeated exposure creates identity. Your future income is deeply connected to the standards you tolerate daily. If everyone around you settles for less, eventually you will too. But when you surround yourself with disciplined, ambitious, intelligent, and growth-focused people, your mindset expands naturally. Bigger goals stop feeling impossible. Better habits become normal. Financial education becomes exciting instead of intimidating. Your environment either feeds your potential or slowly kills it. The people around you may not physically stop your success, but they can mentally convince you to stop chasing it. And in the end, mental defeat is where financial failure truly begins. Most people believe financial failure happens because of bad luck, lack of education, or not having enough money to start. But one of the most dangerous reasons is invisible: psychological conditioning from the people closest to you. Your social circle controls what feels normal in your life. If nobody around you wakes up early, builds skills, studies money, or talks about long-term success, then discipline begins to feel strange. Ambition starts looking extreme. Slowly, your brain creates invisible limits based on what your environment accepts. This is why some people remain stuck for years even though they are intelligent enough to succeed. They are surrounded by people who unconsciously train them to stay small. Look carefully at the emotional patterns in your circle. Do your friends encourage improvement, or do they secretly compete with you? Many people smile at your dreams in public but mock them in private. Some will support your goals only until your progress becomes real. The moment you start earning more, thinking differently, or becoming more disciplined, insecure people often react negatively. They may criticize your work ethic, call you changed, or pressure you to return to old habits. This happens because your growth threatens the comfort of people who refuse to grow themselves. Weak-minded people often protect their excuses by attacking ambitious individuals. If everyone stays average together, nobody has to confront their wasted potential. Financial growth requires energy, focus, and belief. Negative social circles slowly destroy all three. Imagine trying to build a successful future while constantly surrounded by complaints, gossip, negativity, drama, and fear. Your mind absorbs emotions like a sponge. Even if you stay motivated for a short time, repeated exposure to negativity eventually weakens your confidence. This is why highly ambitious people often become exhausted around the wrong crowd. They spend more time defending their dreams than actually building them. Every negative conversation drains mental energy that could have been used for progress. Another silent danger is normalized financial irresponsibility. In many social groups, wasting money becomes a lifestyle. Expensive clothes, unnecessary parties, constant eating out, and showing off online. Fake status while destroying real wealth. People celebrate looking rich instead of becoming rich. If everyone around you spends emotionally and avoids saving or investing, you slowly adopt the same behavior without realizing it. Humans naturally copy the habits of the people they spend time with. This is why your environment matters more than motivation. Motivation disappears quickly, but daily influence shapes identity permanently. There is also the problem of small thinking. Some people cannot imagine success beyond survival because nobody around them has ever achieved more. Entire communities become trapped inside limited expectations. They believe high income, financial freedom, or entrepreneurship are only for lucky people. When you hear these beliefs repeatedly, your subconscious starts accepting them as truth. That is how potential dies. Not through failure, but through lowered expectations. The saddest part is that many people never even attempt greatness because their environment convinced them to fear it before they started. Successful people understand the power of proximity. They intentionally place themselves near individuals who inspire growth. They read books written by successful minds, join communities focused on progress, attend events where opportunities exist, and build relationships with people who think bigger. They know that conversations can change destiny. One powerful connection can introduce a new business idea, career path, investment strategy, or life-changing opportunity. Wealth often grows through networks because opportunities move through people. If your environment lacks knowledge, ambition, and vision, You remain disconnected from entire worlds of possibility. Point one painful lesson in life is realizing that loyalty to the wrong people can destroy your future. Some individuals stay trapped because they refuse to outgrow unhealthy relationships. They continue spending years with people who disrespect their dreams, waste their time, and encourage destructive habits. Real loyalty should never require self-destruction. Sometimes the most important financial decision you make is deciding who no longer deserves daily access to your mind. Protecting your ambition is not selfish, it is necessary. The truth is simple but uncomfortable. Your social circle predicts your future more than your current talent does. If you continue surrounding yourself with negativity, fear, laziness, and mediocrity, your financial growth will slowly suffocate. But when you begin building relationships with disciplined, focused, and growth-oriented people, everything changes. Your standards rise, your confidence grows, your goals become larger, and for the first time, success stops feeling impossible. Sometimes changing your life starts with changing the voices you hear every day. There is a hidden price people pay for staying in the wrong environment, and that price is lost time. Money can be earned again, mistakes can be corrected, and failures can become lessons. But years spent around people who drain ambition are difficult to recover. Many people wake up in their 30s, 40s, or later wondering where their potential disappeared. The answer often lies in the conversations, habits, and influences they accepted daily. Every moment spent surrounded by negativity quietly shapes identity. A person who once dreamed of building businesses, achieving freedom, or creating something meaningful slowly becomes someone who settles for survival because comfort replaced vision. Financial growth rarely dies in one dramatic moment. It disappears through years of small compromises. Your social circle also affects your tolerance for risk. Wealth creation almost always involves uncertainty. Learning new skills, investing, starting projects, changing careers, or entering uncomfortable environments. But if everyone around you fears failure, you begin fearing it too. The wrong people constantly remind you of what could go wrong rather than what could go right. They laugh at entrepreneurs after one failed attempt, criticize anyone trying something ambitious, and glorify playing it safe. Over time, fear becomes contagious. You stop taking action not because success is impossible, but because fear feels normal. Meanwhile, successful people understand that calculated risks are often the doorway to financial breakthroughs. Another dangerous truth is that average environments reward short-term thinking. Many people around you may chase instant pleasure instead of delayed rewards. Weekend excitement becomes more important than long-term wealth. Temporary entertainment replaces education. Comfort becomes addictive. When this mindset dominates a group, discipline starts feeling boring while self-destruction feels exciting. Someone saving money, studying investments, reading books, or building a side income suddenly looks obsessed or too serious. But what looks boring today often becomes freedom tomorrow. Financial success is usually built quietly while others are distracted. Notice how language changes people. Words repeated daily slowly become beliefs. If your environment constantly says things like, money changes people, rich people are greedy, nobody becomes successful honestly, or life is unfair anyway, those ideas begin living inside your mind. Beliefs control actions, and actions control outcomes. This is why mindset matters so deeply. Financial growth starts long before money appears. It begins in the invisible stories people repeat to themselves every day. The wrong social circle feeds destructive stories until ambition slowly starves. Sometimes the biggest obstacle to success is emotional guilt. Many people feel guilty for wanting more because their environment treats ambition like betrayal. They feel selfish for investing in themselves, studying longer, working harder, or dreaming bigger. Friends may say things like, "You think you're better than us now?" or "You've changed." But growth naturally changes people. Success often demands new priorities, stronger discipline, and uncomfortable sacrifices. Staying exactly the same while expecting a completely different future is one of the greatest illusions people believe. Financially successful people are often misunderstood because outsiders only see the results, not the environment they built. behind every successful person is usually a hidden system of influence. Mentors, disciplined peers, educational content, professional networks, accountability, and environments designed for growth. Success rarely happens in isolation. It happens when people intentionally expose themselves to better thinking and higher standards. Even if you do not personally know wealthy or successful individuals, books, podcasts, educational communities, and online mentors can begin changing your environment immediately. The voices around you shape your future, whether those voices exist physically or digitally. At some point, everyone faces a painful decision: comfort or growth. Comfort says stay around familiar people, avoid criticism, and live according to old expectations. Growth says become uncomfortable, learn new skills, think differently, and separate from limiting influences if necessary. That decision often determines financial destiny. Many people secretly know their environment is hurting them, yet remain because leaving feels emotionally painful. But temporary discomfort often becomes the price of permanent transformation in the end. Financial growth is not only about working harder or earning more money. It is about protecting your mental environment with the same seriousness you protect your health. Your dreams need oxygen, and that oxygen comes from belief, discipline, knowledge, and positive influence. If the people around you constantly poison your thinking,